be a doctor's decision. Like if the doctor says this female is about to die if she gives birth, then it should be legal for her to have an abortion. But if it's like she just wants to do it because she didn't know she was pregnant and she just found out and it's on the 3rd trimester and she wants to have an abortion because she didn't want to be pregnant, then I have some issues with it. Even then, I wouldn't say don't do it. My opinion would be she shouldn't do it.
See, I think it's really interesting that you even have an opinion on it because it's not your stomach, it's not your body.
But if it's my kid, I could have an opinion about it.
You can have an opinion on it, but I don't see why would the government or you or a doctor tell a woman what to do with her body and say, this is when we get involved. Other than that, feel free. You know, I honestly don't think the government should have anything to do with it. That's my stance. Like, personally, I probably would do something else. I probably wouldn't find myself in that situation, but I have compassion and understanding for women who do find themselves in that situation. And I don't think the government should tell them what to do, or me, or my sister.
Right, but that's how you want the
Would you want the government to stand up for your life under any circumstances, no matter what? Would you want them to be there to protect your life? Those constitutional rights are going to be there regardless of what situation you find yourself in.
My life before I'm out
imagine it's
someone
something,
else's body.
Imagine it's something out of your control completely, but you are alive, and somebody has the power to decide whether you live or die. Do you want the government there to protect you from that? When you have no say in it?
I see it as
You just told me you saw it as a life.
I'm a little, I don't know. I'm a little confused on how I see it. I see it as a form of life. I see it as a fetus. I see it as my choice. I'm not going to sit here and like defend every single point and what, you know.
The argument I'm making
the government should be involved in my body.
The reason, I think that there's even more reason for the government to be involved, because this is a life that can't speak for itself, that can't defend itself, that can't say what it wants, that can't make its own decisions. I mean, if ever I was caught in a situation where my life depended on some other person's decision, for whatever reason, under any circumstances, I'd hope that the government was there to protect me.
Why would the government be better than the mother itself? I mean, why?
Because the mother has a lot of bias. There's a lot of bias involved. There's a lot of selfish reasons that come into play. There's a lot of other factors that can affect them emotionally at the moment. There's a lot of passions, a lot of different things that are involved.
Totally like giving the women in general like an inferior role. Like they're not intelligent enough to make their own decisions.
Men succumb to the same emotions and passions. Like I'm saying, if for whatever reason a family member of mine was brutally murdered by somebody, I'd probably be back there and avenging their life by brutally murdering the other person. That's my philosophy in life. I mean,
murderer too.
But if he didn't know about it,
it's a good thing that there's an outside third-party observer. I mean, and I'd expect to go to jail for that, and I'm okay with that.
So do you believe in the death penalty?
Yes.
So you believe the government can choose when to murder someone?
No, it's not
but
the
a
government
woman can't
choosing.
choose when to have a baby.
It's not the government choosing to murder somebody.
Yes, they are.
It's not. It's a jury of 12 of my peers.
Okay, so 12 people can decide when a man or a woman can die. But a woman can't decide whether or not she wants to let the baby inside her own body that she's going to raise.
Jury trials for abortions.
Maybe it's interesting. I never thought of that.
I'm not arguing against the right of choice, but I think there has to be limits. They can't just be up until the moment. Like, say your due date is the 12th, and you go in for an abortion on the 11th. Is that okay?
Are you asking me personally? Or
I'm asking anyone that wants to answer. If your due date is the 12th and you go in for an abortion on the 11th, should that be a choice you're able to make?
It depends on the circumstances.
No.
See, I agree with the 3rd trimester contingency that the woman.
So you believe that there should be limits?
I do.
And that's because it's viable, right?
Exactly. I believe in the Supreme
Court's limits.
No.
Still no limits for you?
No governmental involvement.
No limits whatsoever?
No.
I still don't quite understand what makes it so different than the last trimester and the second trimester. Where, I mean, who are you to decide that is more life than before?
It's where scientifically research has shown that after, I think it's 27 weeks, there's a much greater probability of the child surviving.